the legitimation of what the Trump administration is doing depends on the idea that these people being detained are very dangerous. That's why you have to shackles. But
Right.
the numbers, there aren't there are not a million people a year of dangerous people in the United States to remove. So if you're going to remove a million people, most of them will be people who are out of status but who are not dangerous. And you don't need to shackle them. You just need to say, okay, we have laws. You're out of the law. Get on the plane. Here's your hot meal on the plane. Welcome back to Colombia, where you come from.
You're pointing to an issue, and there are many examples of it, where the administration says it wants to do one thing, but then behaves in a way that really runs directly counter to it. And a lot of it comes back to this fundamental disconnect between a promise to deport the worst of the worst and a promise to deport a million people a year. You just simply can't do both. If the administration wanted to focus on the worst of the worst, for example, it really wouldn't need to massively expand the detention system that exists, because these would be people who have extensive criminal records, who are not eligible for any form of immigration relief, and whose cases would move very quickly through the courts. You might run into diplomatic issues with their home countries being willing to take them in, but it's a smaller number of people who would move quickly through the immigration system, and who I think have been targeted aggressively under the last several administrations, both Republican and Democrat. Obviously, Trump wanted to do a better job of vetting, in particular, large numbers of people who came in during the Biden administration. That is all doable without a massive expansion of the detention system. But when you do expand the detention system, you end up sweeping, and you set these very high goals in terms of numbers. You, of course, end up, as you pointed out, sweeping up lots of people who've been in the United States for a long period of time, have no previous interaction with law enforcement, and whose deportation becomes difficult to justify.